up, guys? This is Corey. Welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Today I'm going to be talking about a brand new movie that just came out this last weekend, We're the Millers. We're the Millers starred Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston, Emma Roberts, Will Poulter, Ed Helms, Nick Offerson, Kathryn Hahn, and it basically follows Jason Sudeikis. He's a drug dealer who he's been around basically, and pretty much what happens is his entire stash gets stolen, and so he is taken to his boss, played by Ed Helms, who tells him that he needs to go to Mexico to pick up just a smidge of marijuana and bring it back into the United States. And so, he's like, well, how am I going to do this? I look like a drug dealer. I need to basically, come up with this plan to be able to get me there and back without raising suspicion. What's he come up with? Well, he comes up with the idea to create this fake family to go down to Mexico to get these drugs. So who does he get? Jennifer Aniston, who plays a stripper who lives in the same apartment building as Jason Sudeikis. Emma Roberts, who is a street rat who pretty much is just kind of shows up. She just kind of shows up in the movie. And then Will Poulter, who's just this kid that I guess looks up to Jason Sudeikis in a weird way. But anyway, he comes to terms. He's like, okay, you guys are going to be my family. I'll pay you guys. And, we're going to go down to Mexico, move this drugs, and that's it. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but that's basically the basic gist of the movie. So if you saw the trailer to this movie, then you pretty much saw the entire movie. This movie is kind of a mixed bag. There's a couple of humorous moments throughout the film, but for the most part, it's really not that good. I was wanting to like this movie. I mean, I really like Jason Sudeikis, I like Ed Helms, I like Jennifer Aniston, Emma Roberts, just pretty much everybody in this movie I really like, and I think they all have great talent. But for some reason, it just did not work in this movie. First off, Jason Sudeikis, he really does not look like a drug dealer in the beginning of the movie. He has like a little bit of long hair, and he's, wearing like a hoodie. That's about it, and honestly, he seems more like clean cut than, say, some other actors out there who could potentially play a drug dealer. I guess Bryan Cranston comes to mind because of Breaking Bad, but still, I mean, I couldn't really see Jason Sudeikis being like this big drug dealer, but even more so, I couldn't see Ed Helms being like the boss of this big drug company or whatever. Like this big-time mob boss. I could not see that at all. It took me out of the film seeing him play this, basically big-time drug dealer. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Ed Helms, but, I mean, it just, I couldn't see his character. I think one of the main the big issues with this movie is both with its direction and with its writing. The director, Rawson Marshall Thurber, he directed Dodgeball, which is one of the better comedies from the 2000s decade. But for some reason, this movie just didn't work. Maybe it's because, some of the characters I couldn't really see playing the characters. Maybe it was the writing. I'm not entirely sure what. I mean, it's just kind of a weird mixture of just not working. And I know everybody in this movie has great potential for, being good actors and be very funny, and it just did not work well. I don't know how else to explain it. Now, don't get me wrong, this is definitely not like the worst. Now, don't get me wrong, this definitely is not the worst comedy of 2013, or even of this decade. I mean, it's not a terrible movie. I mean, I was entertained, although I will say, about an hour and 15 minutes into this 2-hour-long movie, I was like, okay, let's get to the end here, because it really does kind of start dragging after a bit. They kind of stretch it out. There's a lot of you know, just kind of conveniences that take you out of the movie, and just, I don't know, it just didn't really work well for me. But I do know some people who really enjoyed this movie. I'm just not one of them. But if you enjoyed this movie, I'm glad you did. You know, I mean, I'm always glad to see someone enjoy a movie that I don't like. And who knows, maybe I'll watch it again in the future and, you know, have a different heart. But as of right now, I couldn't get into it. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this probably a 5.1 out of 10. Definitely not the worst and definitely not the best, but you know, it's kind of in the middle of the road, I guess. It's forgettable comedy. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Be sure to check out other videos. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Okay. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Be sure to check out other videos. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. If you guys have any movie suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, I am Corey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.